Course on Microsoft 365. Microsoft 365 is Microsoft's cloud-based productivity tool, which incorporates online services with online apps, desktop apps, and other Microsoft tools. In this course, you'll explore Microsoft 365 and how to get started with basic tasks. You'll become familiar with the apps and services included in a business subscription, file storage with OneDrive, and how to manage your own profile, account, and security. By the end of this course, you'll be able to navigate your Microsoft accounts, including logging in and out, find help with tasks and modify basic account settings, and use the desktop apps and services available with a Microsoft 365 subscription. Microsoft 365 is used in many organizations all over the world. It contains a great selection of useful business tools that help organizations in their day-to-day tasks. As a publisher, Westcal rely heavily on Microsoft 365 applications, particularly Microsoft Word. Thomas is leveling up within Westcal by developing his Microsoft Word skills. But before he gets working on any Word-based projects, he first needs to develop familiarity with Microsoft 365. This includes managing his account and exploring the different ways in which he can use Microsoft 365 services. Thankfully for Thomas, working with Microsoft 365 and its applications is easy. Over the course of this lesson, you'll discover how typical users like Thomas can make the most of Microsoft 365. You'll do this by exploring the answers to some basic questions around the service, such as, what is Microsoft 365? What's included in Microsoft 365? And what are the requirements for Microsoft 365? And you'll also discover the answers to some other frequently asked questions. So now it's time to get started with the basics. Microsoft 365 is a subscription-based and online or cloud version of the popular Microsoft suite of software. As Microsoft 365 is cloud-based, you can connect to it using a browser. As soon as you set up an account, everything is online and ready to be used. So what does Microsoft 365 offer its users? Microsoft 365 offers online and desktop versions of popular Office applications. Some commonly used examples of these applications include Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, and other apps such as Outlook, Teams, and OneNote. The service also includes other useful tools that you can use to boost collaboration with your team. Multiple people can work on the same document at the same time using co-authoring features. You can also send instant messages, as well as communicate through voice and video chat. All your documents are saved online to the cloud, so you don't run the risk of issues with local disks. You can access all your files from anywhere with an internet connection, freeing you from your desktop. Finally, Microsoft 365 is also configured to work with most smartphones and tablets to offer a true portable workspace. As you probably already know, Microsoft 365 is a subscription-based service, but there are a lot of different subscription types available. Which one you select will depend entirely upon the needs of your business. Westcal are eager to make use of Microsoft apps like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. So they've signed up for a Microsoft 365 Business Basic plan with accounts for each employee. Thomas has been given his account details. He now needs to log into his new 365 account and explore the available apps. Microsoft 365 has become increasingly popular amongst organizations both large and small. It offers a variety of different plans to best suit organizations of any size. For example, Microsoft 365 Family and Microsoft 365 Personal plans are best for general consumers, while Microsoft 365 Apps for Business, Microsoft 365 Business Basic, and Microsoft 365 Business Standard are aimed at small to medium-sized businesses. Larger organizations can choose Microsoft 365 Apps for Enterprise and Office 365 E1, E3, and E5. Keep in mind that Microsoft 365 features are constantly evolving. While the features you'll see in this course are correct at the time of filming, they may have been updated or changed since. So what's included in a Microsoft 365 subscription? As you've seen, Microsoft 365 availability depends entirely on your organization's subscription. However, all Microsoft 365 Business Basic and Office 365 E1 subscriptions do include the essential Office apps covered earlier, cloud-based services, management tools, and other features. Assuming your organization is using the Microsoft 365 Business Standard Plan, you will also have access to always up-to-date desktop versions of these essential Office applications. Most plans also include applications for host email, web conferencing, instant messaging, and 1 terabyte of OneDrive cloud storage, along with lots more features. Now that you're familiar with the basics of Microsoft 365, you might be asking yourself, what's required to use its services? You'll be happy to hear that although Microsoft 365 is based in the cloud, there are only a few requirements for enjoying its full benefits. These requirements include a device running Windows 8 or Windows 10 operating systems, internet access to install or activate Microsoft 365 and manage it. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, a compatible browser is also needed. Recent or current versions of Microsoft Edge, Firefox, Safari or Google Chrome are all compatible with Microsoft 365. You might already have some familiarity with the Microsoft 365 service, but there could also be a few aspects of the service that you're still unsure of or have some questions about. Over at Westcal, Thomas also has a few questions. Thomas has begun exploring Microsoft 365 using the new account that Westcal have set up for him. However, there are some aspects of the service that he has a few questions about. Here's a few frequently asked questions around Microsoft 365. Some of the most common of the questions include, what is the cloud? What are the differences between Office for the desktop, Office Online and Microsoft 365? What Office file formats are compatible with Microsoft 365? How secure is Microsoft 365? And can Microsoft 365 be used offline? To start with, here's a look at the cloud. The cloud is an off-site file hosting service to which you upload and synchronize files with OneDrive, Microsoft's own cloud service. Once you have an internet connection, you can access this service anywhere using any device. It's the ultimate portable office. And OneDrive is inherently more secure than a local copy on your computer of your work. Microsoft enforces strict backup procedures to make sure that you never lose your data. Chances are that you have previously used a desktop version of an Office product. This is the way Microsoft has worked for decades. So you might also be asking yourself, what are the differences between Office for the desktop, Office Online, and Microsoft 365? Both Office Online and Microsoft 365 are recent additions to the Microsoft product line. They add a whole new level of functionality for users by enabling them to use Microsoft apps and services on the go, across multiple devices. Take a moment to find out more. Office Online is a free service that is available to anyone with a Microsoft account obtained from office.live.com. This version of Office allows you to view and edit files in apps like Word, Excel and PowerPoint. However, keep in mind that Office Online apps have basic functionality compared to their desktop versions, so some features won't be available. As you've seen already, Microsoft 365 is a subscription-based service that combines Office Online and Office for the desktop. Once you're subscribed, not only do you get access to Office Online, but you can also download Office for the desktop. Microsoft 365 also includes the functionality that the desktop version of Office delivers while maintaining web-based access, multi-device support, and enhanced collaboration tools that make it an attractive solution. Another frequently asked question is, what Office file formats are compatible with Microsoft 365? The good news is that Microsoft 365 enjoys full compatibility with any files that were created with Office 97 or later. However, be careful when opening Microsoft 365 files in Office 2007 and earlier. While Office 365 can read all formatting and features from previous versions of Office, this does not work the other way around. As you've seen, all these services are cloud-based, with all the information put into Office apps running back and forth across the internet. This might lead you to raise questions around security and ask, how secure is Microsoft 365? You'll be relieved to hear that you don't need to worry. Microsoft 365 offers the same user-level security options and trust center as the desktop version. In fact, you can even enable encryption and set permissions using the Right Management Service, also known as RMS. And if that wasn't enough, Microsoft's OneDrive servers are also stored in secure, specialized data centers where physical and virtual security is strictly regulated. In fact, for small to medium-sized businesses, Microsoft 365 offers better security than these organizations typically rely on. And in addition to all this, Microsoft also makes sure to implement security measure and protocols in accordance with the legal requirements in different jurisdictions. What happens if you don't have internet connectivity, or you briefly lose your connection while working with applications? You might be wondering, can Microsoft 365 be used offline? The short answer is yes. While Microsoft 365 is primarily intended for internet connectivity, it can be used offline. But to fully experience everything it has to offer, including cloud tools and storage, you will need an internet connection. Here's a quick look at what Microsoft 365 is like during offline use. Desktop versions of Office apps that you've downloaded through Microsoft 365 can be used offline. However, they must be connected to the internet every 30 days to maintain your subscription. Don't worry about this deadline too much though, as you'll be warned before the time frame elapses. Finally, it's important to remember that any features reliant on internet connectivity cannot be used offline, such as OneDrive or the many collaborative tools that are available. You're now familiar with the basics of Microsoft 365. Great work! While Microsoft 365 offers a great range of applications, an account is required before you can work with the service. Once you have a set of valid credentials, you can then access the apps and features. There's a lot on offer within the service, and it can be confusing to navigate through it all. Thomas recently ran into navigation problems when trying to update his Microsoft 365 account in Westcal. Thomas has created a Microsoft 365 account so that he can access Word and begin working on some Westcal projects. But before he can begin his tasks with Word, he first needs to update his profile in Microsoft 365. He's not familiar with the services and is unsure where to access the profile feature. Thankfully for Thomas, the Microsoft 365 interface is very easy to use and navigate. There are also several great benefits to having a Microsoft 365 account. Once you've created an account, you can log in and out of Microsoft 365 applications and services from any compatible browser and Windows operating system. Navigate through applications and features in the Microsoft 365 landing page and update your information in your Microsoft 365 profile. So, how do you navigate through a Microsoft 365 account? First, let's review the steps for logging into your Microsoft 365 account. Every Microsoft 365 account requires a username and password. Once you have these details, open your browser and navigate to the login page, login.microsoftonline.com. With the login page open, enter your email address and then click on the Next button. Type in your password, then click the Sign In button to complete the process. Keep in mind that you can choose to keep yourself signed into the account by clicking the Yes button. This is a great time saver as it means that you don't have to log into your account every day. Just be sure that you don't select this option when using public computers. That would be a major security risk. The default Office landing page then appears. Keep in mind that the login process you've just seen here might differ from that mandated by your work environment, but many of the steps should be broadly similar. Next, let's take a few moments to explore the Office 365 landing page. The landing page that you see when you first log into your account is where you can find shortcuts to many of the online Office applications and settings. This page might look different depending on the Microsoft 365 plan that your organization is using, but you should always see the navigation toolbar along the top of the page. Click your name on the toolbar to display the My Account pane. This pane provides you with links to view your profile page using My Office Profile, which might require you to log in again, view your account information, and sign out of your Microsoft 365 account. To close this pane, click on the same button again. Click the Help button on the toolbar to open the Help task pane. In this task pane, you'll find the search field, the featured Help pane, where you can learn about the latest updates, the No Installation Required pane, where you can get information about Office Online, and the Legal, Privacy and Cookies section. Clicking the Settings button opens the Settings task pane. Controls in this task pane allow you to customize basic aspects of your Microsoft 365 account, such as themes, language and time zones, dark mode, passwords, and contact preferences. The My Day icon provides you with an overview of your Outlook calendar. In the Calendar tab, you can view calendar meetings and events, or select the To Do tab to view your to-do list for the day. Office 365 can also be used to access different applications. To open Office apps, click the tiles on your landing page, or select the All Apps icon to open the application page. If you can't find an app, click All Apps to expand the pane. You can also select the app launcher to open a list of applications to choose from. When clicked, the app launcher drops down on the left-hand side of the browser window. The app launcher displays a menu with many of the same links to your applications as those that are found on the application page. It also shows documents that were recently opened. Click on these links to open the related application. Next, let's find out how to update your profile. Your profile is what people will see when they add you as a contact or directly view your profile page. To view and modify your profile page, click your profile photo on the navigation toolbar to open the My Account task pane. Then select My Office Profile. Your profile page is shown as part of the Delve application. On this page, you'll find any recent documents that you've been working with, other people in your organisation, and any notifications that you might have, along with other features. To edit your contact information, click the Update Profile link. On this page, you can edit your profile information. You can add a personal description of yourself, a photo, and other information such as skills, education, and even your birthday. So now that you've finished updating your profile, it's time to log out of Microsoft 365. You can log out by clicking your name on the far right-hand side of the navigation toolbar. This action displays the My Account task pane. Click the Sign Out link. A page appears with a message to confirm that you have signed out of your account. You now know how to log in and out of a Microsoft 365 account, navigate the Microsoft 365 landing page, and update your profile. Great work. There are lots of apps and features in Microsoft 365. To a beginner, it can seem a bit overwhelming. How do you make use of everything that's on offer? Thankfully, Microsoft 365 has a great help feature that you can turn to when you have questions. And you can also change some basic settings within Microsoft 365 to suit your own needs and workflow. Here's how Thomas worked with the help feature and settings in Westcal. Thomas has created his Microsoft 365 account and updated his profile. He now needs to send an email to the Westcal team with his new contact details. But Thomas isn't sure how to create a group mail. Luckily, you can use the help feature in Microsoft 365 to find a tutorial on how to create a group mail. Just like Thomas, you can also use Microsoft 365 to find help and change settings. For example, you can search for help with Microsoft apps and features, view and change your Microsoft 365 settings, change your Microsoft 365 password, and change the default language used in your apps and services. Over the next few minutes, you'll discover how to perform each of these tasks so that your Microsoft 365 account conforms to your needs and workflow. To start, here's a look at how to search for help with Microsoft 365 apps and features. The Microsoft 365 landing page has a Help task pane. You can open the Help task pane by clicking the Help icon on the toolbar. To find help with a particular feature or problem in Microsoft 365, use the search field in the Help dialog box. From the results that are listed, complete the action by directly clicking on one of the options below the Results subheader. You can also access help articles related to your search by following the links under the Help header. Any help articles that you open will appear in the current Help dialog box. Help articles can contain videos as well as text-based tutorials. Not only can you use Microsoft 365 to find help with different topics, but you can also change settings for things like theme, language and time zone, notifications, and password. Let's find out more. To view the settings for your Microsoft 365 account, click the Settings icon that appears in the top right-hand corner of the toolbar at the top of the current page. This action displays the Settings task pane. In this task pane is a series of commonly used settings that you can work with. Let's see how we can change a password. To change the password, select Change Your Password. Keep in mind that you might be asked to sign into your account again as a security measure. Your browser opens a new tab that asks you to change your current account password. To change your password, first type your existing password into the provided text box. Then type your new password into the two subsequent text boxes below. Once you are ready, click the Submit button to change your password. Don't forget that there are minimum requirements for passwords when using Microsoft 365. This is to make sure that any new passwords you create are safe and secure. All passwords must be between 8 and 256 characters. They need to contain a mix of uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers and symbols. And when using uppercase and lowercase, keep in mind that passwords are case sensitive. And you should also avoid using common words or names. Once your password has been successfully changed, you'll be returned to the Microsoft 365 landing page. Finally, here's a look at how to change your language. The language can be adjusted by clicking the Change Your Language link under the Language and Time Zone category in the Settings task pane. You're then taken to a new page where you can select another language instead of the default one. You can also use this page to change the time zone, date format and time format. Choose a new language, then click the Select button. The new language will immediately be applied to your Microsoft 365 account. You now know how to search for help and change basic settings in Microsoft 365. Well done! As you've discovered, Microsoft 365 is a cloud-based service with online capability required to make use of its features. While much of Microsoft 365's capability is locked into the cloud, you can still use many Office apps on your desktop. Over at Westcal, Thomas is also beginning to make use of Microsoft 365's offline capabilities. Thomas has received a company laptop from Westcal. He needs to download some Microsoft Office applications to his new laptop so that he can use them when offline. Thomas can use the installation feature in Microsoft 365 to add these applications to his desktop. Here's a quick recap of some Office applications that you can download and use on your desktop. Applications that are commonly used on the desktop include Word, Excel and PowerPoint. So how do you add and use these Office applications within a Windows desktop? To start off, explore the download and installation processes for Office apps. To install the current version of Office, click the Install Office drop-down button. Then click the Office 365 Apps option that appears near the top right-hand corner of the landing page. An instruction dialog box appears after you save the file with some simple installation instructions. Once the download has been completed, locate and open the Office setup file. A security pop-up appears asking if you would like the current app to make changes. Click Yes. The Setup wizard then downloads all the files that are needed to install Office on your computer. Once all files have been downloaded, the wizard then installs Office. After the installation is completed, the Office apps are available to use on your computer. Now that you've installed the apps, you need to access them. Type Office into the search bar on your computer. Click the Office icon to open it. The Office app homepage opens. You can now view and select the apps that your subscription plan includes. To open any Office desktop app, select the Related App tile. To explore more apps, click All Apps to expand. If you select one of these apps from the Office app and a desktop version of your selected app is available, then the desktop version will open. If a desktop version is not available, then the app will open in your browser. If you already have a copy of Microsoft Office installed on your computer, or if you are installing Office for the first time, you may be required to sign into it. The sign-in process is really simple. First, open a desktop Office app. In this example, Microsoft Word is open. To sign in, click the Sign In button that appears in the top right-hand corner. This action displays the Sign In dialog box, which might already be shown on screen. Next, type the email address associated with your Microsoft account. Then click Next. Type in your password, then click Sign In. Keep in mind that passwords are case sensitive. You may be presented with another screen that asks if you would like to stay signed in to all your apps or just the selected one. Consult your organisation for advice on how you should proceed. The current copy of Office that has been installed onto your computer is now signed in using your Microsoft 365 account. You're now up to speed with downloading and installing Microsoft 365 applications, opening your Office desktop apps, and signing into Microsoft 365 Office applications. Great.